Welcome to the Friendly Moms Club podcast with Jen and Carly. We're the new mom friends you didn't know you needed.
We are creating a safe space to bring moms together, lighten the heaviness, and find joy in the everyday moments. Together, we will share our own experiences of being new moms while navigating the topics we wish more people talked about.
Join us every Monday to hear us skip the small talk and dive right into the uncomfortable. Happy Mom Day, Jen.
Happy Mom Day, Carly.
Always an exciting day.
Yes,
In the neighborhood.
We are having some more coffees. This is number 2 for me.
Cheers. It's number 3 for me, but this one's the D, the decaf.
Every once in a while, you need a little D. That's okay.
Yeah, that's actually what got us in this situation in the first place.
Yes, but we love our little ones.
We do.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yes. Sometimes not at 2 a.m., but...
Yeah, sometimes the screaming and sleep regressions is not as enjoyable, but
yeah.
Overall.
Exactly. Today, no little catch up before we begin because the whole episode is about us.
Yay! And we love talking, but talking about ourselves is even easier.
Yeah,
so
we're good at that.
Yeah.
We are good at that.
We're excited to share a little bit. So if you're new and you don't know us from anywhere, welcome.
Hello.
And thank you for supporting us.
Much
it means
love.
a lot to us.
That's a heart.
And yeah, if you have any other questions, anything that we don't go over today, just send us a message and we're happy to answer anything. We're open books. We're very... Mm-hmm. Open, honest people, and we just like to share and kind of be vulnerable and put ourselves out there in hopes that it helps someone else.
If it helps one person, then you know what? We're happy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Helps me, so we're set.
And that's all that matters, right?
Yes.
As long as Carly is happy, we are good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get into
Let's
it.
do it. So first, we're going to just ask some basic questions. I'll start off by asking you, Jen, something. Okay. So, Jen, tell me about you.
Well, my name is Jennifer. Full name is Jennifer, and I normally just go by Jen. You can
one
call
N
me,
or 2 N's?
Actually, this is very specific. 1 N.
Yep.
I had a whole presentation for my family when I was young, and I was like, get rid of the second N because they used to spell with Jen with 2 N's, and I was very, very strong-willed, and that it could only be 1 N. So Jen with 1 N. And I am 31 years old. I'll be 32 in December. I'm a December baby. So I'm always kind of the last to do everything with all my friend group, except Carly's older than me. So I always feel young and special.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Where I feel old and not special.
Yes. And I work for the government. Yeah.
Fun stuff. Tell me about your family.
Well, I am married to my husband, Nad, and we have our daughter, Jordan. She is almost 9 months old now, which is crazy. She's our first human child, I guess, but we're fur parents before that. And
you got a skin bub and a fur bub.
Yeah, and we have an Australian Shepherd dog. Her name is Mojo, so we call her Mojo and Jojo. Our daughter's name is Jordan.
I love it.
So Mojo and Jojo are our two little children.
And are they friends?
They're working on their relationship. I wouldn't say they're quite friends yet.
They're going to family counseling.
Babies don't really get the whole nice petting thing. They they grab a lot, and my Mojo's doesn't love that.
Yeah, and it's shedding season, so they grab and they get a handful of fur.
Yeah. But yeah, and we actually live in our house. My parents live in the basement suite, so we're really close to all my family, and my sister and her husband and daughter and my brother live about 10 minutes away, so we're all super close. And yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah. What about you? Let's go with, just tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm Carly. I am 35. I just turned 35 recently. And for work, I'm a nurse and I work in labor and delivery. Mm-hmm. With the babies.
So tell me about your family.
Yeah. So my husband, Jeff, we've been married for, I think, 2 years. We've been married for the same number of years, right? So
yes.
2?
Yes.
So 2 years. We've been together for coming up 7 years. We were actually BFFs before we started dating. So when you start dating your best friend, everything goes very quickly. Except for the ring. That was not quick. But
come on, Jeff. What took you so long?
It was my fault. I went back to nursing school. So
that's fair.
I will take the blame for that one.
Yeah.
He's a chef, which is wonderful. We love that because he cooks dinner almost every night. He actually works for head office for a restaurant group now. So he actually doesn't work in the kitchen every day anymore. So he still has to fill that chef cup. So he does that at home, cooking for me.
And I get to eat leftovers.
Yes,
so I also appreciate. Cheers to Jeff.
We love that. Cheers to Jeff.
Yeah.
Good coffee. Sorry if you're listening to this on podcast. We're just
we're
chugging our coffee. It's very important.
I am sorry.
Yeah, Jeff's my husband. My little sweet boy is Henry. He is just the sweetest little nugget. And we also have 2 fur babies. We have Toby and Phoebe, and we did have another cat named Joey as well. My little
And if
sweet
anyone
boy.
gets the reference of where these names are all from, shoot us a DM.
Yeah.
I'll be curious.
Well, even more.
Joey, Phoebe, and Toby.
Yeah. So Toby was not meant to fall into this theme, but
I feel like that's a clue, though. Gave it away.
what? That Toby wasn't supposed to be in the theme?
Yeah.
Oh. Whoopsies. Well, I might as well just talk about it then.
Okay.
Obviously, Joey and Phoebe are from Friends. And if you
Yes.
don't know that, I'm upset. That hurts my soul. And then when we were getting another cat, everybody was like, oh, well, like, is he gonna, or are you gonna name him like Chandler or Ross? And we were like, we don't actually want to do the Friends theme because that was Joey and Phoebe's thing. Like, that was their thing. We didn't want to do that. We wanted him to have like his own name, so we named him Toby. But if you're a hardcore Friends fan,
Yes.
you know that there is an episode where Chandler's coworker thinks his name is Toby.
Yes.
And he goes by Toby because he wanted a donut. And so we didn't mean to, and I don't even know where Toby came from. I saw his picture and I'm like, that's our cat and his name's Toby. And he's great. He's sleeping right
It's
there.
crazy
actually.
what animals are like, though. Like when you get them as pets, you just know, and their name just works. Like it's really cool.
That's what it was.
I love pets.
Yeah.
We're both pet crazy.
We are, yeah.
Dog lady, cat lady, like
Yeah.
crazy cat lady. I'm a normal dog lady. She's a
Yeah.
crazy cat lady.
I am. And you know what? I own it. But to be fair, I actually grew up a dog person until I had roommates with cats. And then I was like, wait, these little creatures are so fun. And I used to be like, ugh, cats. So people who say like, oh, I don't like cats. It's like, you just don't know cats because they are so funny. I've turned her to
That
like
is true.
cats.
I do
They're
actually
great.
like her cats.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, I don't like all cats. I don't like all dogs either, but I'm
that's
a dog person turned cat person. And I'm just like an obsessive, crazy mother in general. Like the amount of pictures I have of Henry on my phone, let's just say I'm running out of storage often.
Yeah, we both have this issue.
And the same thing with the cats. The amount of videos I have of them. But you know what? They're funny. They're funny.
Yeah.
They sometimes make appearances here.
Yes.
Okay, so that's enough about us. Let's talk about you again.
Okay.
Well, that's still us, but
Yeah.
have you lived anywhere else?
I did. So for work, I actually lived up in a small northern town in BC for 4 years. And that's actually where I met my husband. So we were
That's a
both
long
working
time.
there. Yeah, and I loved it. It was like the quintessential small town. Like you walked everywhere, everyone knew your name, everyone knew who you were dating, used to be dating, like what you liked in your coffee. Like everywhere you went, you knew people and they knew you. And like it was just, there's something comforting about
Yeah.
that. And you could walk everywhere in town. Like we never drove in our vehicle and it was so good. It saved us so much money. But you could walk everywhere, like walk to get your groceries, walk to go get coffee every day. And it was just like, yeah, a beautiful small town. And we really loved it. So we met there. And then my husband's from Ontario. So luckily he didn't want to go back to Ontario. He fell in love with BC and he agreed to move back home with me, which is from the Lower Mainland. So
He's a little
and we've
BC boy now.
We've been here ever since and he loves it. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
What about you? Have you ever lived anywhere else?
I have. So I grew up in the Lower Mainland as well. And then in university, I played volleyball and I moved out to Toronto to go to the University of Toronto to play volleyball out there. And I lived in downtown Toronto for, I think, 5 years. I don't know. I can't do the math right now.
Yeah.
But I stayed a little bit after I finished my degree. Loved the city. I wish that, it was kind of hard to enjoy it when I was a student because, you're not rolling in dough. Not that I'm rolling in dough now, but I do want to take Henry and my husband there and kind of like go around the old places that I used to live, see the old like ridiculous apartments that I used to live in.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'd be super fun. I don't know if this counts as living elsewhere, but I also have traveled for almost 2 years by myself, backpacked around Southeast Asia and then Central America and South America as well. So
That's crazy. Good for you.
yeah, that was good times.
Very cool. Lots of life experience.
Yeah.
I guess we should also both say that we both right now currently live in the Lower Mainland.
Yeah,
So
we do.
that is where we are. That's where we both are from. And we both kind of moved elsewhere, but then came back.
Came back. Yeah, we're coming in hot from my living room in the Lower Mainland.
Yes.
And then we put out a question box on our Instagram. If you don't follow us, we're at the Friendly Moms Club on Instagram. For future question boxes, you can let us know your answers. But for this one, we asked, what do you want to know? And the first one was, why do you want to start this podcast? Or why did you want to start this podcast? So tell me, Jen.
Well, for me, it was all about just experiencing pregnancy and motherhood and how much was a shock to me. Like I just no one had been talking about all of these things that kept happening to me. And I was like, why is no one talking about this? Like, I get that I guess you have to kind of put yourself out there a little bit, but I just felt like so alone in my experiences. And I never wanted anyone else to have to feel that alone in their experiences they were going through. And it's just good to share like what's worked, what's didn't work. And it's just, I don't know, it makes me happy to share my experiences in the hopes that it helps one other person get help, mental help, or make them feel less alone if they have hyperemesis. Or there was just kind of like these things that came up that I really wanted to make sure no one else felt alone going through. So I guess that was the biggest thing for me.
Definitely.
What about you?
So I wanted to start this podcast very similar, to kind of start a community and help bring moms together, bring parents together, and just kind of make people feel less alone. One of my coworkers said to me the other day, she has 4 kids. She's an absolute super mom. She was like, where was this podcast 12 years ago? And I said, that was our goal. We wanted to make a podcast for like one that we want and we would listen to, and something that we wished we had when we were pregnant or early postpartum.
Yeah.
So it's just about building a community, making people feel less alone.
Yeah.
We're both open books. We're willing to bear it all to kind of make people feel less alone, because
talk about the hard stuff.
Definitely.
We're happy to.
Yeah. Take down, fight the patriarchy, let's make things about women.
Yes.
That's kind of, we just wanted to bring people together, make people feel less alone.
Yeah. And we hope that we're doing that slowly but surely. We're getting more followers. More people are kind of engaging and talking with us. And it's been really awesome. It's really, really cool to see.
It's really great to hear from you guys as well. And it's nice to put stuff out there into the old social media interwebs and then hear back. Like, me too. Like I've been through that. And like I didn't know other people felt that. And it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
All right. So another question we had is motherhood, what you were expecting?
Yes and no. In kind of some ways it was, in some ways it wasn't. I was more just so rocked in pregnancy that I think I went into motherhood just confused. Like, I feel like maybe if I had a better pregnancy, it would have been more what I was. I don't know. But those first 6 weeks, no, I didn't expect how hard the first 6 to 8 weeks are. I couldn't fathom how difficult that would be. Now it's getting a bit more what I expected now. I think I just expected this earlier and it didn't happen earlier. And then it's taken me a while to get into the like really enjoying motherhood and my role and what that means. And so I think it is what I expected. It just took me longer to get there. So the beginning of motherhood, definitely not. And pregnancy, definitely not. But this later on in pregnancy or motherhood is kind of what I expected, at least.
And I feel like that's a very common sentiment, that it's not what you were expecting, and then people feel shame and guilt about that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And then, so what about you? Did you expect, is this what you were expecting motherhood to be?
Yes and no. I was expecting it to be hard. I was expecting there to be tears. But one thing that really caught me by surprise is that it's not like having a hard job or like going through nursing school, which was also very hard. Like this is 24 hours. And when people say like, you are responsible for that baby, like you are the person to respond to this baby, you and your partner, 24 hours in a day. And
There's no off switch.
And I didn't expect the toll that would take, that you are responsible. There's no off time.
Yeah.
You don't get days off. You don't get hours off. And like, sure, you and your partner can trade off, but it's still, you are it for 24 hours a day. And I wasn't expecting that. Like but I wasn't expecting what it felt like when that actually happened.
Yeah.
And then overall, like the first month, like nobody can prepare you for like how much of an adjustment it is. So yes and no. And I always knew like, I didn't always knew. I was hoping that I would love my child and feel this like joy and all the warm fuzzies. But I also didn't expect to feel this much love and joy and warm fuzzies. Like I kind of, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I got a lot of good warm bubblies going on inside.
It's fun when you get there though, when you finally feel that like real
connection and bond and
excitement, that like that level of enjoyment for it, because it's just so hard at the beginning. It's hard to really enjoy it when you're struggling to survive.
And some people may never feel that. I remember somebody, I don't even remember who it was. If I can remember, I'll link them. But they said on their Instagram, like, I actually don't love being a mother. Like, I love my children and I love our bond, but I don't actually love the act of being a mother. And I was like, wow, like that is so good to talk about, because maybe some people don't love it either. And you don't know going into it.
You have no idea.
That doesn't mean that they don't love their child and they don't love like seeing them learn and grow and blossom, but they may not love the actual act of motherhood. Like it's pretty mundane. There's a lot of butt wiping.
Same thing all day, every day. And it's just like on repeat. Like there's not a lot of.
It's very monotonous.
Yeah, very monotonous. So, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll move on to the next question. I'll ask you this time. How did you decide on the baby name?
Ooh, this one's a funny story. And actually even funnier that when I don't know if I was telling you guys, I think I was telling Jen this story and my husband goes, I didn't know that. Like that's where you got it from. So our little boy, his name's Henry, and the place I first heard it, like obviously I'd heard the name Henry, but the time I heard it actually being used recently was in this reality TV show from Australia called Yummy Mummies. And one of the girls on the show named her boy Henry. And he also was like a blonde-haired, blue-eye boy, which my husband and I both have light eyes and blonde hair, well, as kids. So I was expecting we would have a baby that looked like that. And his name was Henry. And at first I was like, oh, what a weird name. Like that's such an old person name. I was obviously younger. And then I grew into the name. All of a sudden I was like, wait, this is growing on me. Like that's a sweet name. Yep. And then for some reason it was just like always at the back of my mind, always at the top of the list. And I was one of those people that had like lists and lists of baby names, like before I even tried to get pregnant.
Yeah.
My husband also really liked the name. It was it. That's how we got Henry.
I'm sitting here editing this episode and I decided to look up the mama who I thought had baby Henry. So she's Rachel Watts on Instagram. And I looked it up and it turns out her kids' names are Harry and Harvey. So there isn't even a baby Henry on Yummy Mummies. So I don't know what happened there. I, in my head, thought that his name was Henry, and then I convinced myself of this. And then I loved it so much, I ended up adding it to my baby list. So, I don't know. I convinced myself that the baby on Yummy Mummies was Harry. No, Henry. See? Oh, maybe I should just change his name. I don't know. Anyways, I love the name Henry. Who knows where I got it from? I also love Harry and Harvey. A little too close for the future, though. So you guys can use those ones. So yeah, funny story. I don't know where I got Henry from, but I love it.
Well, Jordan, we decided on a whim that we didn't know what we were having. So, and going into it, we only had a boy name picked out. So we had a book C-section and we were kind of like, okay, we need to have one of each. And we did not have that ready.
Yeah, because you didn't know the sex.
No, we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we had a boy name ready to go, like locked and loaded. But the girl, we just couldn't decide on. This kind of goes into the next question a little bit. But during the birth, she actually got taken away to the NICU really quickly. So I barely got to see her. So we didn't decide on the name till we were like FaceTiming. Like I was in recovery and I was FaceTiming my husband who was with the baby in the NICU. And we were finally talking and we're like, okay, she needs a name. Like we have a baby girl. Like we need to finally come up with a name. And this name, Jordan, Nanad had kind of said, and I thought he was more joking because he's a huge basketball fan. And I was like, you just want to name it after Michael Jordan. Like we're not naming our child, our little girl after Michael Jordan. Like that's ridiculous. So I kind of like poo-pooed it right on the start. And then we're FaceTiming and I don't even know how it came back up, but he said Jordan again. And I was like, I kind of love it. And it turns out when we were in our room earlier, there's actually a basketball hoop outside of our like hospital room that we were in. There was like a basketball court and a hoop right outside of our room. And it kind of felt like a sign. Like it was just Jordan was meant to be it. So we just on FaceTime, we decided Jordan is the name and we are going after it. So yes, it is kind of after Michael Jordan and basketball, if anyone is curious.
He was the GOAT.
Yeah.
When I think I asked her husband, like, or I asked both of you, like, how'd you come up with this name? And his answer was, there was a basketball hoop outside our room. Yeah. And I didn't know at the time that like he was a huge basketball junkie and I didn't know that. So I was like, yeah.
Spoiler, our boy's name is also related to a basketball player. So,
I didn't know that. Yeah. I know the name, but I didn't. You'll have to explain that to me later.
I'll explain. There's family ties to it too. But anyways, that's for another time.
That's it.
And the next question. So I already kind of started, but you can go first. What is your birth story? Just kind of the quick, concise version.
Yeah. So I actually ended up getting induced at 39 weeks and I believe 4 days, because my blood pressure went up. So I never developed preeclampsia, but my blood pressure did get quite high. So we started the induction. And I had, we'll go into it later, but it was very fast. On day 2, I started getting some cramps and then I planned to go home. We went to my parents' house and I was like, I think we need to go back to the hospital. Went back to the hospital and baby came out a few hours later. So it was like a very precipitous.
Fast and furious.
Yes, a fast and furious delivery for a first-time mom. I did end up needing a vacuum because I progressed so fast that Henry's heart rate dropped. And I remember the OB coming in and saying, we got to get this baby out of you right away. And in my head, I was like, okay, they're going to put me under. I'm going to have an emergency C-section. That's what's going to happen. And then she was like, we're using a vacuum. And I was like, all right. And then, yeah. And I didn't have time for an epidural. I wasn't sure if I wanted one. My plan was to have no plan. And then when the anesthesiologist was in the room, going over all of the risks and benefits of the epidural, something in me was like, you must get up and go pee right now. So I literally sprinted across the room, butt naked, with my little IV pole. My husband and my midwife were like, what is she doing? But something in me, I don't know what it was. Something was like, you need to get up and go pee right now. And while I was up, my water broke. And he dropped, and all of a sudden I'm in the bathroom screaming like, I'm pushing. And then he came, I think like 14 or 15 minutes after that.
So you didn't even have time for an epidural. Even if you decided at that point you want it, you wouldn't have had time.
I think as soon as the anesthesiologist heard me yell, I'm pushing, he was like, okay, bye.
Bye,
And
I'm out.
just left. Like, there's no time. Yeah. So it was nice. Fast and furious. So
Well, there you go.
And I also delivered at my work with all of my lovely coworkers. And
cool.
it was fantastic. Love you all. If you're listening, hopefully, please listen.
Okay, and mine. So I said a little bit, but I did have a C-section. I had a planned C-section, like a booked day, and it was actually 2 days before that. So it was at the 38-week mark. I think that was my booked C-section. But 2 days before my date, my water just broke at home. I thought I was just peeing myself, but it turns out, nope, my water broke. So I went into the hospital, and I had eaten breakfast. So they're like, okay, we're just going to wait a few hours. Like, I did not. So I had 0 contractions, nothing. But they're like, oh, just wait. So meanwhile, people are like laboring and screaming around me, and I'm just chilling. Like, I felt totally fine.
How long did you have to wait for?
About 4 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
So yeah, we were just like hanging out in the hospital, and then they wheeled me in, and I had a C-section, and it actually went like really smooth, like relatively smooth. Didn't have any issues on my end. It was just that Jordan had a few issues and had to go to the NICU. But for me, like the recovery was really great. Like I feel like it was really quick and relatively, I don't want to say easy because birth is hard, but it was like relatively easy, I think, in terms of labor. Like my C-section didn't have any complications. It was all, pretty quick and easy. I healed well. The incision was good. Like, so that was my little birth story.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to do, well, actually, are there any other big questions before we move on that you've come up with while we're chatting?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. We're going to do a little rapid fire now. So,
Okay.
You can't look. She's
Okay.
cheating.
I didn't mean to look.
We're going to do a little rapid fire. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask Jen some questions and she's just going to give me her answer right away.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Potatoes.
How do you take your coffee?
Ooh, oat milk. Latte.
Yeah, that's your thing. Favorite sport?
Baseball.
Beach or mountain?
Ooh, mountains.
Early morning or late night?
Early morning.
Or you have a baby and you get all of it. Stay in or go out?
Stay in.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Ooh, biggest pet peeve?
Oh. I don't know. Gross food in people's kitchens. Moldy food.
Oh yeah, you're
It's kind of a
with
weird pet
expired
peeve, but
food.
anyways.
Yeah.
What expired food is anyways.
Favorite music?
Country.
Ooh, favorite artist?
No idea. I'm not one of those people who knows artists. I just know that I like songs and I don't remember artists. So I'm going to have to pass that one.
Yeah.
I just like it.
I was hoping you would say Shania Twain, but whatever.
She's not my favorite. I can honestly say that.
But you like her?
Yeah, but like,
She's not. Yeah.
So I tend to go towards, this is not rapid fire, male country singers for whatever reason. I don't love female country singers
maybe
as much.
you just don't like it's a different vibe, their music.
They talk about different things, and for whatever reason, I just tend to like male country singers are my favorite.
Okay, but
I don't know.
If you're out and Shania Twain comes on,
Oh, I will dance. I will dance
up?
to Shania Twain.
Okay.
Yes, I'll dance to rap and country.
I was worried for a second that you don't get fired up when you hear,
No.
man, I feel like
Everyone,
a woman.
if you don't get fired up to that, that's okay.
I was worried.
Okay.
Favorite TV show?
Ooh, Brooklyn 99.
Ooh, favorite condiment?
Ketchup.
Okay, and I'm going to do a little few here that she wasn't prepared for.
Oh, no.
Favorite month postpartum so far, like in terms of baby?
This month, month 8.
Month 8?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have to rapid fire think of things.
Yeah.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunrise.
Hair up or hair down?
Oh, hair up.
Hot food or cold food?
Hot food.
French fries or ice cream.
French fries any day.
I knew that one. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I'm
it.
going to have to come up with some.
I don't even remember what I just asked you. That's funny.
Okay, well,
That's
good.
mom brain.
Yeah,
that is mom brain.
Yeah, mom brain 101.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
you
close
ready?
my eyes. Just get into this.
Okay. Biggest pet peeve.
When people blow their nose at the dinner table.
Stay in or go out.
Oh, stay in.
Early morning, late night.
Ooh, neither. No. Early morning if I don't have a late night.
Favorite sport.
To watch baseball, to play volleyball.
How do you take your coffee?
Usually just a little cream.
What is your favorite music?
Ooh, I would say like girl pop.
Favorite condiment.
Oh, mayo and hot sauce together. Like those exist
Oh,
together.
yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Favorite food.
Ooh, burgers.
Favorite month postpartum.
Ooh, this one as well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Something about
Months,
it.
I'm in month 7, 8 right now. 8.
Yeah.
Month 8.
Okay. Early morning, late night.
Oh, you already asked me that and I said neither.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
Mom
but-
brain, this is terrible.
But early morning if I don't have a late night.
Okay,
definitely.
Okay, that's fine.
That happens.
That's fine. I honestly, I don't have any more. That's all I got.
You didn't answer all of them.
Beach or mountain?
Beach. Actually, a mountain that ends in a beach.
I like a hike that ends in like a waterfall or something
Yeah.
you can go swimming in. That I feel
Yeah.
like is the best of both worlds. I don't know. What else did I miss?
Sweet or savory?
Sweet or savory?
Savory. I'm not pleased. Actually, when I was pregnant, it was sweet. And that was like a whole, I had
Mind.
to re-identify, like I had to get a new identity.
Well, I know the answer to this, and other people do if they read our first post. But warm melted chocolate chip cookies or cold chocolate chip cookies?
No, room temperature
Oh,
chocolate
sorry,
chip
room
cookies.
temperature.
I do not like warm cookies. It's not that I don't like them. I just like, ick. I want them room temperature. When you bite the chocolate, you bite into it. I don't want it to be melting in my mouth.
Okay, like
Ew.
okay, so ice cream or French fries?
Oh, that's so hard. French fries dipped in ice cream.
Okay, favorite flavor of ice cream.
Ooh.
If you had to
I
eat
think
ice cream.
If I had to.
If you had to,
If someone
a gun pointed
forced
to your
me.
head and you had to eat it.
Okay, so my favorites are actually not chocolate. Blah, blah, blah. My favorites are bubblegum and cotton candy.
You weird
Which is
person.
so
You were
weird.
just like Nanad.
Yeah, but I never eat
Like a
those
little
ones.
child.
Yes, like a child. But that's only when I like go somewhere and I can get one scoop of each. For home, my favorite is like a cookie dough or like a peanut butter, like a Ben and Jerry's, like the Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Any of
Me
those
too.
that there's like 17 flavors in one, where it's like chocolatey, peanut buttery, cookie.
Caramel,
yeah.
mixture. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that one.
I mean, I'm not picky.
I mean, ice cream's ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream is ice cream. I'll
But
eat
you
it
lose
all.
me. I would not eat bubblegum at all. And an ad is like all about the weird
Oh, so maybe we
childlike
should do a little
flavors.
wife swap where I get to hang out with Nanad for a night and we eat bubblegum
Okay.
and cotton candy ice cream.
I think wife swap has a different meaning. So
Yeah, well-
I think that it's good to clarify just for ice cream purposes.
That's what she thinks. Okay.
All right. So that was it. Just a little quick get to know us.
Yeah.
If you have any, like I said, if anything comes up and you're like, oh, I'm just curious about this, send a message. We're open books. We're happy to talk, share anything you want to know.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't have a mom day mantra today because we can't really make one about us.
Yeah.
But maybe a little impromptu mom day mantra. Just be you. Be you.
Be you.
Be you. Yeah, we're all individual.
You are enough.
Yeah, you're enough. Even if you're a little quirky like us, we're very quirky.
And you're enough for your baby.
You are enough for your baby. Look at us getting all sentimental.
I know. Okay, this isn't supposed to be a sentimental one. This is just supposed to be a fun,
Funsies.
light and airy.
Funsies. All right,
Yeah.
so like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like
Thanks
and
for joining us.
All right, see you next Mom Day.
Bye.
Bye.